Hello everyone, it's Joel Davis with the Best $1 Million Business. Our goal, our vision, our purpose is to do a deep dive in evaluating a host of businesses so you could better evaluate the opportunity as a prospective investment for you. If you can't grow it, can't scale it, we ain't interested. So thank you all for your great emails in response to my video yesterday, which was about an hour long. If you didn't watch that, make sure you check that out. I'll make sure that Stefan puts a link somewheres on our this video somewheres on here, so you make sure you check out that video. Did a deep dive breaking things down, and many of you appreciate it. I really love it. Welcome all your feedback. What we did is we took some of those emails, consolidated them to the best of our ability so I could hopefully answer some of the follow-up questions we had. Great questions, great compliments. I know you guys were all enthusiastic. Again, love it, appreciate it, love you guys. First one I'm going to combine is actually from Anthony Cherry. Many of you know Cherry Berry. Let's see, met him way back in 2014 or 15 in Virginia. And then last year at the Roundtable Gathering, many of you met him and his partner Chuck D. So Anthony Cherry said this quote, "This is absolute genius." Had a question about claiming the depreciation. Who's claiming the depreciation if you're doing a finance company? And I also want to combine that with a question from Richie Rich, who wanted to know about if you go to sell your business, what do you do if the vehicles are in the finance company? Great questions. Let me try to answer all that stuff. First and foremost, the finance company, again, if you were just starting out right now, again, can you really do the finance company? No, you got to get operational. So buy your vehicle, keep it in your transportation business, whatever. But as you're building, growing, turning a profit, now it's time to start diversifying. Deploy the finance company strategy. Phenomenal. We did that, worked out phenomenal. Limit your exposure to taxation, limit your liability. The core concept is, again, I'll break it down real fast. Let's say you had $20,000, put that in as equity into your finance company. The finance company purchases a used vehicle. You lease it to the transportation company. Let's say, again, I'm going to keep things very simple for numbers. You bought a $20,000 used vehicle in the finance company, leasing it to your transportation, let's say for $500 a month for a 5-year lease. That means in turn, transportation is going to pay your finance company 30 grand. You're going to profit 10. I know. Does that set the world on fire? No. Play with those numbers. Let's say you increase. Let's say it's $600 a month, $700 a month. Play with the numbers. Maybe it's 6 years, indefinitely. Who knows? Who cares? I don't care. But you could see how you literally reduce your exposure to showing a profit, exposure to taxation in the transportation, turn profit in the finance company. Allows you to play with those numbers. Again, gives you great flexibility, limits liability, gives you the opportunity to have two sources of revenue, kicking up money like the mafia, to your personal company, i.e. the management company that you're going to own. Here's the thing that's also genius about it. Let's talk specifically about this pandemic. And again, I know a lot of you guys get upset with me because I tell you, don't go out there and purchase the latest and greatest vehicles. Don't finance $40,000, $50,000 brand new Ford Transits. Don't do that stuff. Because guess what? As of right now, when everything is shut down, people's businesses have gone down 40, 50, 60, 70%. Guess what? You still got to make those car payments. Hopefully some of them can defer. If not, whereas if you do it my way, first of all, you're not going to be exposed to that type of financial liability, number one. Number two, guess what? If you're financing the vehicle from a transportation business to your personal finance company, and we're in a pandemic like this, who cares? You own it anyways. You don't have to make a payment because it's already paid off. One way or another, it doesn't matter. Huge flexibility. Again, you want to keep not just the money, you want to keep the empowerment in your overall quote-unquote system. So great questions, great questions. Wayne and Kathy out of the great state of Florida. Big Pimpin' Queen Diva. As you can tell, I got nicknames for a lot of people. Many of you met them in Virginia. You met them 2 years ago at the broker conference that we had. And if you're coming to Orlando here in June, you're going to meet them. Doing great. Had a great conversation. Let me take a quick side note. Having a great conversation with them. They said their business is down about 30%, but they are still crushing it with their dialysis. And here's the best part about all their dialysis. They have a lot of dialysis. Here's the beautiful thing. Zero, as in not one of their clients is Medicaid. They get solicited 24/7 by MTM Logisticare, which is hot and heavy down in Florida. But guess what? They partner directly with the facilities, not with Medicaid. You want to talk about getting increased rates of reimbursement, regular payment, financial empowerment. That's it. That's called making real money. Empowers them, gives them choices. Anyways, let me get to their question. Their question was Wayne said that last year they were thinking about doing something similar. They had talked to their accountant, or maybe it was your attorney, I forgot which one you told me, but they suggested doing like a holding company. The core concept is very similar, but the reason why, and again, I asked this similar type of question years upon years ago when I was working with my accountant. The reason why we avoided the holding company concept, where you have an overarching umbrella, if you will, entity that owns all the other entities. The problem with that is that there is a direct correlation of who owns what. One company owns another company, owns another company. One company owns a subsidiary, another company, etc. It's all owned together. Whereas if you look at what I diagrammed on the board yesterday, it is completely separate. Completely separate. So remember I talked about piercing the corporate veil, limiting your exposure to liability, having barriers. The thing with a holding company, it's much easier to pierce that corporate veil because you could see that, guess what? The holding company owns this company, which owns this company, and money flows here and money flows there. The strategy, the techniques that I shared with you yesterday, there is no holding company. It is legitimately separate. You have agreements between those entities. So therefore, it is exceptionally hard. It's much easier in a holding company to demonstrate any type of collusion, Russian collusion. That's a good one. I like that. To demonstrate that there was mismanagement, therefore there's a weakness, you could penetrate the corporate veil. Versus if you have legitimate, separate entities that are only tied by an agreement, bank accounts are different, EINs are different, etc., etc., etc. It makes it much harder, protects you much more, gives you much more freedom and flexibility. So I can appreciate the concept of the holding company, but I wouldn't espouse that. And Wayne loved it. He said to me, I loved in the video when you specifically said, hey, if you got an accountant, attorney who doesn't do this, fire him. Because it's exactly what his attorney said. Oh, you don't need to do that. You have enough protection here. You're formed here. You got insurance. That's exactly what his attorney did. So love it. Wayne and Kathy, look forward to seeing you guys in June. Regina, going to sign up for one-on-one coaching. You got inspired. Love it. Awesome. Let's do it. But you're not sure where to start. Not a problem. Going to take care of it. You're intimidated because your humble beginnings. You're not sure. Here's what I want to share with you. It all starts with the first step. One person you're going to meet in Orlando is his real name is Mohammed. Again, I use nicknames. His stage name is Mojo. Mojo, many of you are going to meet him in Orlando. I actually coached him in high school. He was one of my best high school football players. He went off, did college, joined the Army, went overseas, got out of the military, lives in Tennessee, hustling, working hard, doing his thing. Hit me up, Coach D, I just need to learn. I just want to learn, I want to make money. Love it. The reason I share all this with you is when Mojo was in high school, I used to, again, I mentored all my players for sure, but Mojo, I used to teach him a lot of different things. He used to, everything from business. He used to, at the time I used to own a lot of rental property. He would come and help me with some of my rental properties. I taught him a lot of things. And so one day we're driving down the street where I grew up in Binghamton. And I said, hey, Mojo, what do you think of that house right there on the corner house? He's like, man, that's run down. He said, that's a piece of crap. I said, I know, I agree. You know what's funny about that house, Mojo? He said, what's that, Coach? That's the house I grew up in. And you could tell he didn't know what to say. He felt like a fool. He's like, well, it's not that bad, Coach. I said, no, Mojo. It is that bad. It is that bad. The reason I'm showing you is because that's where Coach Davis started. But that ain't where I'm going to be. That ain't where I'm at. That's certainly not where I'm going to finish. My point is, Regina, it ain't about where you start. It's not about your humble beginnings. It's about taking the first step. So, hey, I'm glad we're going to be doing one-on-one coaching. That's awesome. There is nothing to be intimidated about based upon your background. I'm not going to share it with everybody here. You obviously are a hard worker, great skill, work hard. We are going to leverage the heck out of your experience, your education. We are going to hook you up, make sure that you are looking top shelf. So don't be intimidated. It all starts with the first step. You know, when I put those things up on the board and I talked about where I am, my business, how I diagrammed it all the way to my investments and honeypot, hey, go all the way back to my house. Like even Mojo said, that's a piece of crap. Well, guess what? That's where I started. But that ain't where I'm at. That ain't where I'm going to be. That ain't where I'm headed. And the same thing holds true for you. So look forward to meeting Mojo in Orlando. You could ask him about how good of a coach I was. I was good. A lot of people, many of you had questions about my honeypot. I told you I'm not going to get crazy on my honeypot. I'm going to tell you I'm invested heavy into tech. Tech has been phenomenal for me. I know a lot. You realize back in the day, think about it right now, even during this nonsense when the market is still struggling. And granted, we're bouncing between 24 and 25,000 with the Dow, but it's not at between 29 and 30 like it was, 2 months ago. But regardless, we're coming back and the economy isn't even open yet. So my honeypot, hey, I'm heavily invested into equities. Why would I not be? I've made so much money there. Take Amazon. I love Amazon stock. I love Well, I was bounced at over 2,200 today. People thought I was crazy when I was still buying it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was still buying it at 600. I was buying it even when it was even cheaper than that. But think about how much money I've made just off Amazon. You know, Netflix. Look at Netflix right now. Netflix is hitting all-time highs. Everyone's staying home. I've owned Netflix for years. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a genius. I was so close. I was to the width of a hair of bailing on Tesla. Now, Tesla I've owned for many years. I almost ditched on it completely. I almost completely got out of it last year. And look at it today. Today, it's still hitting highs today. Phenomenal. Anyways, again, I could go off on a tangent with that, but I don't want to go crazy. When I see you at one of my live events, if you want to ask me some questions, I'll tell you. But I don't want to go crazy because I don't want anyone to tell you, oh, you told me and I invested here and I lost. I don't care. That's you got to learn to become an investor. That's how you build your infrastructure in your honeypot. Build your infrastructure. I mean, think about it. The markets went down 32%. They're already back up 16%. You can make money in this stuff. You have to have a good team. Look, there's people 10, a million, 100 times smarter than me. I leverage them. I build a team. You got to do the same, for sure. There's so much money to be made. Just run some numbers. If you had $100,000 making 10%, that's 10 grand. That's your money working for you. That's how you build a honeypot. That's your infrastructure. So right now, as an investor, your NEMT business, it's an investment for you. It's a means to an end. Your home care, your broker business, your courier business, everything else you do, it's a means to an end. They're all investments. But again, the goal is to fund your honeypot. I call it my honeypot because that's exactly what it is. It just builds and grows on its own, and I love it. But that is where in time, you got to leverage time. That's where your true investment is, because if you were to lose everything else, just like I diagrammed, if you lost everything, if the businesses go down, whatever you retire, you sell them off, whatever, you can make money indefinitely when you put yourself in a position, you build your honeypot, and your honeypot just begins to make money for you. Albert Einstein said the single best man-made invention is interest, is compounding interest. And it's so true. That's when your money works for you. I love it. Christina, love it. You referred to my content as your content is a great awakening. Not going to find this type of content anywhere else. I agree. I love it. I'm not going to you get a long email, so I'm not going to read it all, but I loved it. You've been to the other events. She named the seminar, or not the seminar, the conference that she went to last fall. I'm not going to give it kudos, so I'm not going to mention the name. She went there last year. She did all the barking seals. Everyone tried to upsell her. She got the lanyard, and she was awesome. I'm not going to read her whole email. It's awesome. But here's why I shared her email. It's awesome. Again, I agree. You go to all those conferences. Go to all the experts. Go to all the people who steal all my content. Like I said, you're not going to get this stuff. And that's great. But here's why I included this. Christina, I love it. She said, I am starting to ask myself what you are not sharing. This is after she said that my stuff was the Great Awakening. It's great. I am starting to ask myself what you are not sharing and am eager to learn. I love it. I'm going to read that again. I'm starting to ask myself what you are not sharing and am eager to learn. Hey, kudos for you for going to the other conference and realizing it's just an upsell. You're not going to learn stuff like this. Like I told you, there's a company out there that's charging people $9,000 to teach them how to do NEMT, and they're sharing my stuff from 12 years ago. The industry's changed. The industry has changed a month ago. It's changed. This whole Corona stuff has changed everything, and they're still going to peddle that 12-year-old stuff. Of course, there's things I don't share on the website for freebie stuff. I mean, the freebie experts, they're rascally little rabbits, man. I can't do all that. There are certain things that have to be protected for the people who I do work with directly. And then the other thing, what's the old saying? People don't like to learn the truth. The truth has to be revealed, or something like that. You can't tell someone the truth. The truth has to be revealed. Not everybody's ready. Not everybody is ready. Look at everything I put on the board yesterday. For someone just starting out, that's very intimidating. And I get that. Regina, she wants to do one-on-one training, but I could tell that she's intimidated by that. I get it. And that's a lot. Some people are ready for it. Some people, okay, like Cherry Berry, Big Pimpin' Wayne, Queen Diva Kathy, they've been with me for years. This is the first time they're seeing this type of stuff because, again, it's a progression. Time. So not everybody is ready for it. Everybody eats at a different pace. Everybody eats a different way. Everyone builds a different way. So some people don't like being told the truth. They just like the truth to be revealed. So you just got to piecemeal it. So of course there's things that I don't share on my websites because guess what? All these slappy pappies who are trying to steal my stuff all the time, or all those freebie experts. I mean, of course, it's common sense. It is what it is. But here's the key point. You're eager to learn. You're eager to learn. I love it. And especially because you've gone to the conferences. Hey, I have too. I've been there. I've been invited to speak at them. Politely declined because it's just not my gig. It's not my MO. Hey, I love talking. I love talking to people. But the core concept, the business model, it doesn't serve the people I serve in the way I want them to be served and how I serve people. It is what it is. So I found my calling. This is the way I do it. It's different from the way they do it. I'm sure they could hate on me. I could hate on their core concept as well. Whatever. I don't need the lanyards. I don't need the VIP breakout sessions, all that stuff. For those of you who need that type of affirmation, those type of environments, hey, go. Visit the Barking Seals. Then when you're ready, come back to us. So, again, if you haven't checked out yesterday's video, go check it out. It's long. It's almost like to the second, an hour long. I know, and trust me, I could have taken that thing another 5 hours, so I had to cut it off. So if you haven't checked it out, click a link somewhere around here. Make sure you check it out. And, as always, I'll see you at the top.